IT governance. IT governance, or information technology governance, is a framework or set of processes that ensure the effective and efficient use of IT resources in an organization in order to meet its strategic goals and objectives. It involves aligning IT strategy with business strategy, ensuring that IT investments support business objectives, managing IT risks, and ensuring that IT resources are used responsibly. Difference between corporate governance and IT governance. Corporate governance and IT governance are related but distinct concepts. Here is an overview of the differences between the two. Corporate governance. Scope. Corporate governance refers to the overall system of rules, practices, and processes by which a company is directed and controlled. It encompasses the entire organization and deals with how the organization is managed, overseen, and held accountable. Objectives. The primary objectives of corporate governance are to protect shareholders' interests, ensure transparency and accountability, maintain ethical business practices, and promote sustainable growth and long-term success. Stakeholders. Corporate governance involves a variety of stakeholders, including shareholders, board of directors, management, employees, customers, suppliers, and regulators. Key components. Key components of corporate governance include the board of directors, executive management, internal controls, risk management, financial reporting, and compliance with laws and regulations. IT governance. Scope. IT governance, on the other hand, specifically focuses on the management, control, and oversight of an organization's information technology resources, investments, and initiatives. Objectives. The primary objectives of IT governance are to align IT strategy with business strategy, optimize the use of IT resources, ensure value delivery from IT investments, manage IT-related risks, and maintain compliance with relevant IT laws, regulations, and policies. Stakeholders. IT governance involves stakeholders such as top management, IT management, business unit leaders, and external entities like regulatory bodies and auditors. Key components. Key components of IT governance include IT strategy, IT resource management, IT risk management, IT performance measurement, and IT compliance. In summary, corporate governance is a broader concept that covers the entire organization, while IT governance focuses specifically on the management and oversight of IT resources and initiatives. Both corporate and IT governance aim to ensure the organization is operating effectively, ethically, and in compliance with relevant laws and regulations, but they target different aspects of the organization. What's the difference between IT governance and an IT strategy? IT governance and IT strategy are related concepts, but they serve different purposes and have different scopes within an organization. Here's an overview of the differences between the two. IT governance. Definition. IT governance is a framework or set of processes that ensures the effective and efficient use of IT resources in an organization in order to meet its strategic goals and objectives. It involves aligning IT strategy with business strategy, managing IT risks, and ensuring that IT resources are used responsibly. Purpose. The purpose of IT governance is to ensure that IT investments support business objectives, provide value, and are managed in a way that minimizes risks and maximizes benefits. Scope. IT governance covers the entire spectrum of IT-related activities, including planning, implementation, monitoring, and control. It involves the establishment of policies, procedures, standards, and guidelines to ensure that IT resources are used effectively and efficiently. Components. Key components of IT governance include IT strategy, IT resource management, IT risk management, IT performance measurement, and IT compliance. IT strategy. Definition. IT strategy is a comprehensive plan that outlines an organization's approach to using technology to achieve its business goals and objectives. It defines the vision, goals, priorities, and actions related to the organization's use of IT. Purpose. The purpose of IT strategy is to guide the organization's IT investments and initiatives in a way that supports the business strategy, fosters innovation, and enables the organization to achieve a competitive advantage. Scope. IT strategy focuses specifically on the organization's technology goals, priorities, and initiatives. It involves the selection, implementation, and management of IT systems, tools, and infrastructure that support the organization's operations and objectives. Components. Key components of IT strategy include IT vision, objectives, principles, technology roadmap, investment priorities, and implementation plans. In summary, IT governance is the framework and processes that ensure the effective use of IT resources, while IT strategy is the plan that guides how technology will be used to achieve the organization's goals. IT governance provides the oversight and control mechanisms, while IT strategy outlines the specific actions and investments related to technology. Why do organizations need IT governance? Organizations need IT governance for several important reasons, including alignment with business strategy. IT governance helps ensure that IT initiatives and investments are aligned with the organization's overall business strategy and objectives. This alignment is crucial for maximizing the value that IT can bring to the organization. Optimal use of IT resources. By establishing a framework for decision-making, IT governance helps organizations make better choices about how to allocate and manage their IT resources, including hardware, software, personnel, and budgets. Value delivery. IT governance enables organizations to measure and monitor the performance of IT initiatives to ensure they deliver value to the business. This includes assessing the return on investment, ROI, of IT projects and making adjustments as needed to improve outcomes. Risk management. IT governance helps organizations identify and manage IT-related risks, such as security breaches, data loss, system failures, and regulatory non-compliance. By proactively addressing these risks, organizations can minimize potential negative impacts and protect their reputation and financial stability. Compliance and regulatory requirements. Many industries are subject to strict regulations and compliance requirements related to IT, such as data protection, privacy, and financial reporting. IT governance ensures that the organization meets these requirements and maintains a strong compliance posture. Enhanced decision-making. IT governance provides a structured approach to decision-making, which helps organizations make more informed choices about IT investments, projects, and priorities. This leads to more effective IT management and better overall results. Improved stakeholder confidence. A well-governed IT environment demonstrates to stakeholders, including shareholders, customers, and partners, that the organization is effectively managing its IT resources and risks. This can increase confidence in the organization's ability to deliver on its promises and achieve its strategic goals. Encouraging innovation. IT governance can help create a culture of innovation within the organization by promoting collaboration between IT and business units, and by supporting the adoption of new technologies that drive competitive advantage and business growth. In summary, IT governance is essential for organizations to effectively manage their IT resources, deliver value, minimize risks, and maintain compliance. Implementing a strong IT governance framework can lead to better decision-making, increased stakeholder confidence, and improved overall performance. What kind of organizations use IT governance? IT governance is relevant and beneficial to organizations of all types, sizes, and industries. Some examples of organizations that use IT governance include private sector companies. Businesses across various industries, such as finance, healthcare, retail, and technology, use IT governance to ensure their IT initiatives align with business objectives, manage IT-related risks, and comply with industry-specific regulations. Public sector organizations, government agencies and public institutions employ IT governance to manage their IT resources effectively, deliver public services efficiently, ensure transparency and accountability, and maintain compliance with government regulations. Nonprofit organizations. Nonprofits use IT governance to manage their IT resources efficiently and effectively, ensuring that technology investments support their mission and goals while minimizing risks and maintaining compliance with relevant laws and regulations. Educational institutions, universities, colleges, and schools utilize IT governance to manage their IT infrastructure, support educational and research objectives, protect sensitive data, and comply with applicable regulations. Small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs. Although SMEs may have fewer resources than larger organizations, they can still benefit from IT governance by implementing a scaled-down, simplified version that helps them manage their IT resources effectively and align their IT strategy with their business goals. Startups, especially those in the technology sector, can benefit from IT governance by ensuring that their IT investments are aligned with their strategic objectives, managing risks, and complying with relevant regulations. While the scope, complexity, and specific requirements of IT governance may vary depending on the organization's size, industry, and regulatory environment, the principles and goals of IT governance are applicable to all organizations that rely on information technology to support their operations and achieve their objectives. How do you develop an IT governance plan? Developing an IT governance plan involves several steps and considerations. Here's a general outline to guide you through the process. Understand the organization's objectives. Begin by gaining a clear understanding of the organization's overall business strategy and objectives. This will help you align the IT governance plan with the organization's goals and ensure that IT initiatives support these goals. Assess the current IT environment. Evaluate the organization's existing IT infrastructure, systems, processes, and governance mechanisms. Identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, SWOT analysis, to determine areas that need improvement. Identify stakeholders. Determine the key stakeholders who will be involved in the IT governance process, such as top management, IT management, business unit leaders, and external entities like regulatory bodies and auditors. Engage these stakeholders in the development of the IT governance plan. Define IT governance objectives. Establish clear objectives for the IT governance plan, such as aligning IT with business strategy, optimizing IT resource utilization, delivering value from IT investments, managing IT risks, and ensuring compliance with relevant laws and regulations. Establish IT governance principles and framework. Develop a set of principles that will guide the IT governance process and choose a suitable IT governance framework, such as COBIT, Control Objectives for Information and Related Technologies, ITIL, Information Technology Infrastructure Library, or ISO/IEC 38500. Develop policies, procedures, and standards. Create policies, procedures, and standards that will support the IT governance objectives and principles. These may include IT investment approval processes, project management methodologies, IT risk management procedures, and IT security policies. Assign roles and responsibilities. Clearly define the roles and responsibilities of stakeholders involved in the IT governance process, such as decision-making authority, reporting structures, and accountability mechanisms. Establish performance metrics and monitoring. Develop key performance indicators, KPIs, to measure the success of the IT governance plan and track progress toward achieving its objectives. Implement monitoring and reporting processes to regularly assess performance and make adjustments as needed. Communicate and train. Communicate the IT governance plan to all relevant stakeholders and provide training as necessary to ensure they understand their roles and responsibilities. Implement and continuously improve. execute the IT governance plan, monitor its effectiveness, and make adjustments as needed based on performance metrics, feedback from stakeholders, and changes in the organization's objectives or IT environment. Developing an IT governance plan is an ongoing process that requires regular review and adaptation to ensure its continued effectiveness and alignment with the organization's goals and objectives. How to choose which framework to use? Choosing the right IT governance framework for your organization depends on several factors, including your organization's size, industry, regulatory environment, and specific needs. Here are some steps to help you choose the appropriate framework. Understand your organization's needs, identify the key objectives, challenges, and requirements of your organization's IT governance. Consider factors such as your organization's business strategy, IT infrastructure, risk management needs, and compliance requirements. Familiarize yourself with popular frameworks. Research and compare widely used IT governance frameworks such as COBIT, Control Objectives for Information and Related Technologies, ITIL, Information Technology Infrastructure Library, and ISO/IEC 38500. Understand the core principles, objectives, and components of each framework, as well as their strengths and weaknesses. Consider industry-specific frameworks. Some industries have specific IT governance frameworks tailored to their unique needs and regulatory requirements. For instance, the NIST cybersecurity framework is widely used in the United States to manage cybersecurity risks in various sectors, while the HITRUST CSF is designed for organizations in the healthcare industry. Evaluate alignment with business strategy. Assess how well each framework aligns with your organization's business strategy and objectives. Choose a framework that supports the strategic goals of your organization and enables IT initiatives to deliver maximum value. Assess adaptability and scalability. Consider whether the framework can be customized to fit your organization's specific needs and whether it can scale as your organization grows or evolves. A flexible and scalable framework will be more effective in the long run. Check compatibility with existing processes. Determine how well the framework can be integrated with your organization's existing IT processes and systems. Choose a framework that complements and enhances your current IT management practices. Consult stakeholders. Engage key stakeholders, such as top management, IT management, and business unit leaders, in the decision-making process. Gather their input on the selection of a suitable framework and ensure that their needs and expectations are addressed. Consider implementation resources and expertise. Evaluate the resources and expertise required to implement the chosen framework, including personnel, training, and budget. Choose a framework that your organization has the capacity to implement effectively. Conduct a pilot or proof of concept. Before fully committing to a framework, consider testing it on a small scale or conducting a pilot project to validate its effectiveness and suitability for your organization. Continuously review and adjust. Once you have chosen and implemented a framework, regularly review its effectiveness and make adjustments as needed based on performance metrics, feedback from stakeholders, and changes in the organization's objectives or IT environment. By considering these factors and following these steps, you can choose an IT governance framework that best aligns with your organization's needs, objectives, and capabilities. Remember that no single framework is a one-size-fits-all solution, and it is often beneficial to combine elements from multiple frameworks to create a customized approach that best fits your organization. How do you implement an IT governance framework? Implementing an IT governance framework is a structured process that involves several steps. Here's an outline to guide you through the implementation. Obtain executive support. Secure buy-in and commitment from top management and key stakeholders, as their support is crucial for the success of the IT governance initiative. Select a suitable framework. Choose an IT governance framework that aligns with your organization's needs, objectives, and regulatory environment, such as COBIT, ITIL, or ISO/IEC 38500. You may also consider using a combination of frameworks or customizing a framework to better fit your organization's unique requirements. Assess the current state. Conduct a thorough assessment of your organization's existing IT governance structure, processes, and practices. Identify gaps, strengths, and weaknesses, and determine the areas that require improvement. Define IT governance objectives and principles. Establish clear objectives and guiding principles for your IT governance initiative, aligned with your organization's overall goals and strategy. Develop a detailed implementation plan. Create a roadmap for implementing the chosen IT governance framework, including timelines, milestones, and resource allocation. Assign responsibilities and tasks to appropriate teams and individuals. Establish policies, procedures, and standards. Develop the necessary policies, procedures, and standards to support the IT governance framework. These may include IT investment approval processes, project management methodologies, risk management procedures, and security policies. Assign roles and responsibilities. Clearly define the roles and responsibilities of all stakeholders involved in the IT governance process, ensuring accountability and effective decision-making. Implement communication and training. Communicate the new IT governance framework to all relevant stakeholders, and provide training as necessary to ensure they understand their roles and responsibilities. Establish performance metrics and monitoring. Develop key performance indicators, KPIs, to measure the success of the IT governance initiative and track progress toward achieving its objectives. Implement monitoring and reporting processes to regularly assess performance and make adjustments as needed. Continuously improve. Monitor the effectiveness of the IT governance framework and make adjustments based on performance metrics, stakeholder feedback, and changes in the organization's objectives or IT environment. Continuously review and refine the IT governance processes to ensure their ongoing effectiveness and alignment with the organization's goals. Keep in mind that implementing an IT governance framework is an ongoing process that requires regular review, adaptation, and continuous improvement. The process may also vary depending on the chosen framework, your organization's size and complexity, and specific industry requirements. How do you make sure the implementation is successful? Ensuring the success of an IT governance implementation requires careful planning, effective execution, and ongoing evaluation. Here are some best practices to help you make sure the implementation is successful. Clearly define objectives and success criteria. Establish clear, measurable objectives and success criteria for the IT governance implementation. This will help you evaluate the effectiveness of the implementation and determine whether it has achieved its intended goals. Obtain executive support and stakeholder buy-in. Secure buy-in and commitment from top management and key stakeholders, as their support is essential for the success of the IT governance initiative. Align with business strategy. Ensure that the IT governance framework is aligned with the organization's overall business strategy and goals. This will help you prioritize IT initiatives and investments that deliver the most value to the organization. Involve stakeholders. Engage all relevant stakeholders in the IT governance implementation, including IT and business unit leaders, staff, and external partners. Ensure that they understand their roles and responsibilities and are committed to the success of the initiative. Develop a detailed implementation plan. Create a comprehensive implementation plan that outlines the timeline, milestones, resource allocation, and responsibilities for the IT governance initiative. Regularly review and update the plan as needed to ensure progress toward the goals. Communicate and train. Communicate the IT governance framework to all stakeholders and provide training as necessary to ensure they understand their roles and responsibilities. Regularly communicate updates and progress to maintain stakeholder engagement. Establish metrics and monitoring. establish metrics and KPIs to measure the effectiveness of the IT governance implementation and track progress toward achieving the objectives. Implement monitoring and reporting processes to regularly assess performance and make adjustments as needed. Continuously evaluate and adjust. Regularly review the effectiveness of the IT governance framework and make adjustments as needed based on performance metrics, stakeholder feedback, and changes in the organization's objectives or IT environment. Continuously improve the IT governance processes to ensure their ongoing effectiveness and alignment with the organization's goals. By following these best practices and continuously evaluating and adjusting the implementation as needed, you can ensure the success of your IT governance initiative and enable your organization to maximize the value of its IT investments and resources. Conclusion. In today's digital age, IT governance is critical for organizations of all types and sizes to manage their IT resources effectively, deliver value, minimize risks, and maintain compliance. Developing and implementing a robust IT governance plan requires careful planning, effective execution, and ongoing evaluation. The process involves understanding the organization's objectives, assessing the current IT environment, identifying stakeholders, defining IT governance objectives and principles, selecting a suitable framework, developing policies and procedures, assigning roles and responsibilities, implementing communication and training, establishing performance metrics and monitoring, and continuously improving. By following best practices and ensuring alignment with the organization's business strategy and goals, organizations can successfully implement an IT governance framework that optimizes IT resources, delivers value, manages risks, and maintains compliance. A well-governed IT environment can increase stakeholder confidence, support innovation, and enhance overall performance, ultimately enabling organizations to achieve their strategic objectives and thrive in a rapidly evolving digital landscape.